one was behind and one was in front, that's a hip rail. Not when you're doing both front, both back. That's butterfly in front, butterfly in back, technically, right? This is the hip rail. Okay, great. Now we have a direction where you can do a hip rail. I am turning my body sideways now. If you take your right poi, well, I want you to see what's going to happen, and you put your right leg in front of your left poi. Instead of coming from the back to the front in front of the leg, if you come from the back to the front plane, but go under your leg, you can do your figure 8 under your leg like that. So you got the lift, but you have to move the leg from the front to the back to allow the poi to do the figure 8, and then you have to get the leg out of the way by pulling it from the front to the back, so that the right poi does its circle in front of the leg as you're pulling the leg back. Instead of pulling your hand out so soon, pull your leg back and let your right poi do more of a loop. Right, do you see how it's doing a full loop in front of my leg? So you want to wait a little longer and make a bigger motion with your leg as you're swooping it back. If you ignore the hand, right, you do get what you're doing is this. It is almost like a fan kick. You could do it like a fan kick. That would work. If you know how to do a fan kick, it actually looks very cool if you do it as a fan kick. That was much better, that one you just did. That was great. So you can do up and over with the leg. Because your leg is here, you're going under, and then you're hitting your leg. You have to move the leg so that you can do the loop. Before you're entering, you're pushing your weight forward onto this leg. That's the exact opposite of what you want to do. You want to put your weight on your left leg so that you can lift this leg. So you're almost moving forward, which is the exact opposite of where you're going to go, because you're going to go backward. Now your hand has to get deeper under your groin. Feel the heat. Like your hand, yes, better. Your hand should really be getting in here. You're giving yourself a reach around from the back. Weight is on your left leg. The right leg is coming back. You give yourself a good reach around. Do this. Stop with the poi and stand here like this and do that. Do that. So you're here like this. You have 95% of your weight on your left leg. Your right tip of your toe is touching the floor. You're going to put your hand here. You're going to pull this leg back. And while you're doing that, this hand is doing its loop. Right? It's doing its loop while you're pulling back. But the weight is on your left leg 95% almost throughout the whole thing, except when it's 100% on your left leg. It is a false premise to assume that just because I'm older and fatter, I have less flexibility. I'm just saying. Yeah, but should be able to and train to are two different things. I've been training this move for decades, so it's not that I necessarily intuitively could move this way better. I just have been working on it for decades. And then I'm bending like this, so that my hands, I'm using my oblique muscles and these muscles in my back to pull myself down and get my hand into that area. And then the rest is practice. You're not getting deep enough there. Slip it in the slot deeper, girl. Okay, that was deeper. Now, once you slip it in, keep your body above your waist, more vertical, so the poi doesn't keep rubbing on your boobs and stomach. So this is what you're doing. You're going part way, and then as soon as it hits you, you pull it back out. Instead of that motion, what you want to be focused on is, as you're looking down, imagine this circle that you see when you're spinning it in front of you, coming through your crotch and legs in front of your leg. Pull your leg back sooner as you're going under. Leave the hand there while the leg goes back. So notice how long my hand is underneath my leg while my leg is moving, okay? Do you see how long it's there? So you gotta leave it there, and it's gotta be there long enough. Like, another way to solve the problem, instead of reaching down, is to lift your leg higher so that you can get under the leg better. And then remember, as you're lifting the leg, the motion is this general up and back, up and back, up and back. but you don't look like you have the correct control to be doing the circle itself under the leg. So one thing that you could do, so if you take your leg and you pretended you had like a ballet bar or something, or use a chair like I'm about to here, I'm gonna put this up here so that I can practice doing this circle here and feel it without hitting my dress, right? And then practice the figure 8 under the leg so that you can at least feel what it feels like before you try and go back to doing it with the leg trying to operate independently. I don't think you've felt the motion yet, particularly such that you remember it, which I think is part of the challenge. I think that this one drill will help you at least get familiar with the sensation of what this actual circle feels like. That's my recommendation for cheating to get started. Now that you've done it with each of the poi, right, you could alternate going 1,